Our main source here is a really clear introductory video from the Institute of Transpersonal Psychology.
A good starting point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And our mission really is to unpack what this field actually is, look at its history, which is deeper than you might think, and figure out why it seems to be having this new dawn right now.
Yeah.
And there was this one thought that really grabbed me. The idea that understanding this might not start with complex theory, but with something we all knew as kids, something maybe we've just forgotten.
That's a really interesting angle. And, fundamentally, transpersonal psychology is about exploring the full range of human consciousness.
Right, not just the bits psychology usually focuses on.
Exactly. It covers the scientific, sure, but also the spiritual, the imaginal, the symbolic dimensions, the whole picture. And the goal is integration. It's about cultivating mental well-being, yes, but also fostering what they call transpersonal development, which leads to transpersonal intelligence.
Transpersonal intelligence. We'll need to unpack that later. Definitely. But, even though it draws on ancient wisdom traditions that have explored consciousness for ages, it's largely stayed on the fringes of mainstream psychology.
Why is that, do you think, if the ideas are so old and potentially powerful?
Well, the main reason historically seems to be a lack of unified frameworks.
Mm-hmm.
There weren't clear, measurable tools or, crucially, trainable methods.
Ah, so the practical side was missing.
Pretty much. It created this significant gap between its really big transformative vision and how you'd actually apply it day to day. The insights were there, but not the structure to teach it or test it effectively.
That makes sense. Right. Well, the childhood idea, as the source suggests, is that kids naturally live in more expanded states of consciousness. It's not something they learn, it's just how they are.
Like how they play without an agenda or get totally lost in wonder.
Exactly that. Consciousness feels open, relational, full of imagination, just vibrantly alive, expansive. There's a spirit there we often seem to, lose touch with.
So it's almost like we're not learning something new, but maybe unlearning the things that closed us off.
That's a great way to put it. It's often about shedding conditioning, getting back to that innate interconnectedness. And about today's relevance, well, think about what's happening culturally.
Yeah.
More people are talking openly about experiences that don't fit neatly into the ordinary mind. Things like near-death experiences, spontaneous moments of deep peace, or, the whole psychedelic renaissance.
Where altered states are being explored therapeutically.
Precisely. And then there are intuitive breakthroughs, mystical insights, vivid dreams, symbolic visions. It all points towards consciousness being wider than we usually think.
But the problem is?
The problem is, without a good framework, these powerful experiences get misunderstood. They might get pathologized, seen as signs of mental illness.
Or just ignored.
Or just ignored, bypassed, yeah. Because Western culture often lacks a coherent map for them. Mainstream psychology might just reduce them to symptoms.
Which must leave people feeling pretty lost or isolated.
Exactly. It can lead to a real crisis of meaning if you have this profound experience and no way to understand or integrate it.
So connecting the dots here, transpersonal psychology and maybe the work of a transpersonal practitioner, it sounds like a direct response to that crisis of meaning.
I think that's absolutely right. It's a necessary response.
Is it like without this framework, people have these deep, maybe spiritual experiences, but they lack the language or the map to make sense of them?
That's a really powerful way to see it, yes. Practitioners in this field, they develop a unique skill set. They learn to hold these expanded states with presence, with discernment, with real care.
So they don't just dismiss them.
No, quite the opposite. They're good at seeing the spiritual dimensions within what might look like purely psychological issues. They can hold space for mystery, without freaking out.
But that sounds important.
It is. And crucially, they help translate these potentially mystical insights into grounded healing. They help restore meaning where it's been lost or fractured.
So it's more than just academic knowledge then?
Oh, much more. It's about cultivating a deeper kind of intelligence, one that respects complexity, expands perception, and builds that bridge between the psychological and the spiritual.
And that's transpersonal intelligence.
That's what we mean by transpersonal intelligence. It's a different way of knowing, really, and ultimately a different way of being in the world.
That sounds well needed.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the world today, climate issues, social division, just the sheer overwhelm. It feels like our usual intellectual problem solving isn't quite cutting it.
Mm-hmm.
Can this transpersonal intelligence really offer something more?
I think it's not just that it can, it's that the world really needs it. Desperately, maybe now more than ever. These huge crises we face, psychological, ecological, spiritual, you can't solve them with intellect alone.
Because intellect is good at breaking things down, but maybe not seeing the connections.
Exactly. Intellect analyses dissects. But it often struggles with that deep sense of interconnectedness, with the kind of empathy needed for real collective change. Transpersonal intelligence helps cultivate that felt connection
Oh.
by integrating insight, empathy, and these expanded states of awareness. It helps us reconnect with meaning, with each other, and importantly, with the sacred dimensions of life.
The sacred.
Yeah. This is about taking transpersonal psychology from just being an interesting theory into something practical, something applied, giving
Yeah.
it the structure and clarity to actually meet these challenges.
What strikes me listening to this is the role of the practitioner. In a world that feels so loud and fragmented, the need for, I don't know, quiet thinkers or soul listeners.
That's beautifully put. People who can read the deeper patterns beneath all the noise.
Yeah. They're not just therapists in the traditional sense, maybe more like guides, sensing those hidden parts of experience.
Guides is a good word. And becoming that kind of practitioner, it isn't about escaping the world. It's the opposite. It's learning to tune into the sacred within everyday life.
To meet the world with more clarity, maybe more courage.
Clarity, courage, presence, all of that. It's about cultivating this deeper intelligence. But, and this is key, it's not just about helping others.
The practitioners have to do the work themselves first.
They have to walk the path, not just understand it intellectually, but embody it. It starts with their own self-inquiry, a willingness to surrender to what's deeper, and crucially, remembering the wisdom they already carry.
You can't guide someone somewhere you haven't
Yes,
been.
exactly. Only then can they guide others with real authenticity, depth, humility, and love. That embodiment is transpersonal intelligence in action.
It makes it less of a concept and more of a lived reality.
Precisely. And for people thinking about, practical steps, it's significant that there's now a level 6 diploma in transpersonal psychology. It's officially recognized on the UK's qualifications framework.
Level 6, that's equivalent to a bachelor's degree level, right?
That's right. It's a big step in terms of formalizing the field, integrating it into established educational structures.
That feels like a major development, giving it that academic weight.
Mm.
And what really stays with me from our sources is this core idea,
Mm-hmm.
this knowledge, this intelligence. It isn't something you get from outside.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like downloading data. It's presented more as something you already carry within you, an inherent wisdom.
Yeah, the potential is already there.
So what's needed isn't just instruction, but maybe a safe space, a resonant environment.
To remember it, to reclaim it, and then, importantly, to learn how to live from that place authentically.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, maybe here's a thought for you, the listener, to carry away. What if those profound insights you're seeking, that deeper wisdom you feel you need, what if it isn't external knowledge you have to gain?
Hmm.
What if it's actually an inherent truth already inside you, just waiting patiently to be remembered and brought into the world?